Welcome to the Dave Darren Show. I have the fantastic Barry DeBenedetta. Now, is it DeBenedetta or Benedetto? I'm not sure.
Well, DeBenedetta is my birth name, and we got shortened it for my stage name and added an N to it, so it's Benedetta.
Okay, and that makes good sense because I'm actually from Philadelphia as well. So I live next to the DePriscos, the D'Orazios, and they all cut the D off their names. So yeah, it's very, very common. It seems like it's a Philadelphia thing to do.
So you say water instead of water?
I say water. I say I don't drink the water in the Schuylkill River. You know that river pretty well, right?
Yeah.
I know that you're from the band Wasted, and you're from Philadelphia, and a lot of people in Philadelphia eventually get wasted, so it's kind of appropriate, right? But tell me about your experience in Philadelphia. Was it as crazy as me? I was from Philadelphia in the 70s. I was playing in a band. I was having a great time. I played down Wildwood, New Jersey. What was it like? I did. I played in Wildwood. So give me your experiences of playing in the East Coast, Philly, probably Jersey. Where were you playing at? What were some of the places? Experiences?
Yeah, mostly Jersey. We played the South Jersey club circuit, mostly. My first band was with Tom Kiefer. It was called Diamonds. And we played the South Jersey club circuit. There was some really big clubs back then called Heaven. There was a really big one called the Penalty Box in Pennsauken, New Jersey.
Yes, know it well. Yes.
Yeah, the Carnival Room, Private Eyes, so long ago.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, I was about 18 years old, we started playing out in that club scene. That was my goal back then, to play down Wildwood, and I never reached that goal.
Let's backtrack a bit to the band Wasted. Was obviously you were in a band called Diamond, and then after that, I'm assuming came Wasted, and they're a band from Britain, aren't they?
Yeah, Pete Wade was the bass player for a German band called UFO, and they got the guitar player Michael Schenker from a German band called the Scorpions. But anyway, when that band broke up, Pete formed his own band on Chrysalis Records called Wasted, and they had a keyboard player, rhythm guitar player from UFO also, and his name was Paul Raymond. And he left the band just before they opened up for Iron Maiden in the UK. And so when they got the opportunity to open up for Ozzy in the United States, they felt they needed to have that fifth member fill out this, sound of the band. And that's, they gave me the opportunity to join the band. So.
Yeah, wow, that's tremendous. So you got to meet all of these great players, and yourself also being, of course, a great player. So that energy of the scene back then was so exciting. And can you think of one? I know that there was a VH1 tour that was, I think, noted as the fourth best festival at the time. Tell me about that event that we're talking about here, which off the top of my head, I don't remember what it's called. I can look it up, but like I said, I try to get information from the artist rather than me telling about the events.
Right. Well, this tour, Ozzy, we opened up for Ozzy. Ozzy was doing Bark at the Moon. Motley Crue was doing Shout at the Devil, and Wasted was touring to promote their debut album called Voices. And so that tour, when VH1 does a countdown of the 10 greatest metal moments of all time, our tour is ranked number 4. So that's pretty cool.
Absolutely. I wonder why it wasn't rated number 4 on MTV. Come on now, MTV, get with it. What happened to those guys?
Kardashian.
This makes me not want to have a big family because no one's original.
It's too late for them to wake up. Now they got the Kardashians on there. I don't think they'll ever wake up, right? It's too late.
Yeah, I don't even follow that stuff.
No, I don't either. Absolutely not. The history of music that you've been involved in such a long time. I know that now you switched to being a Christian rock performer. Is that the correct?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, Christian.
Okay, now we'll talk about how you got to that, but some of the stuff that obviously you played back in the 70s was obviously probably, or at least probably, somewhat different than what you're doing now. Probably from the emotional and spiritual aspect as well. So tell me about how you migrate to something so very different, or maybe it's not different at all. Tell me about it.
Okay, well, reaching the goal of becoming a rock star and touring with people like Ozzy and Motley Crue, it's like the odds of doing that are like 1 in a trillion or million or whatever. And, when you get there, you imagine, it's going to be just great and there's going to be money and I don't know. You just imagine a pot of gold at the end of a rainbow kind of thing. But it wasn't really like that for me when I got there, And I had an emptiness inside. And I was still searching for something that would fill that void in my heart. And, when the band broke up and I ended up back, I'm from Broomall, Pennsylvania, and I ended up back home there. And it was quite a drop from being on tour with Ozzy. You're up here and people were asking for your autograph, and then suddenly you're back in your hometown, and it was a big drop, And then I was dating someone, and we broke up, and then it was even more of a drop. And their mother invited me to church, and I wouldn't go. And so I ended up going to a picnic, and I met people from the church, and they seemed really nice. So I ended up going to church, and they had an altar call where you go up and pray with them, and they asked me if I wanted to accept Jesus as my Lord and Savior. And I was raised Catholic. I already believed in Jesus and everything, so I said, yeah, sure. And after that, I just started playing guitar in church, And then shortly after that, Tom Kiefer asked me to join Cinderella. And I was still writing songs. In fact, Ronnie Cafield and I from Wasted had stayed together and wrote some songs together. And I wanted to be a songwriter. And Tom Kiefer was offered a position to be a lead guitar player in the band. And it would basically have been a hired gun position, just like in Wasted, where you just got a flat salary, So I wasn't really interested in that, so I said no to him. I said thank you, but no thank you. And but later, when they were recording the album, he had asked me if I wanted to play on the album, and I said sure. And I went in and did 3 lead guitar solos on the album, not expecting it to go triple platinum. In fact, after I said that prayer, I prayed to God. I said thank you for letting me reach my goal of being a rock star and everything, and I wanted to play on an album. I said, so one more thing, but please play on an album and leave my mark. And next thing I know, I'm in the studio recording on Cinderella's Night Songs debut album. I don't know, I want to do wherever God wants me to be, so I'm just going to do what I do and what He inspires me to do and see where it lands.
I'll tell you what, let's play a piece of music right now. I know you sent me 4 from the album, you sent me the whole album, but what should we play? What should be our lead-off song here?
He is good.
He is good, He is good, He is good, and His mercy endureth forever. He is good, He is good, He is good, and His mercy endureth forever. Though I walk in the midst of the storm, in the day when I cried out unto you,
talking to Barry here. I want to find out about Barry from, and not a negative perspective, but I know that you suffered from some sort of depression at one point, I guess being in the band you were in. And my grandmother suffered from depression. And as a young guy before my grandmother passed away, I always thought that why didn't my grandmother just wake up, instead of being depressed, just make the choice of being in a great mood? But it's not that easy, right?
Well, you didn't do any research. How'd you know that? That's not funny.
I do a little bit of research.
Apparently so. Yeah, I don't know. My mom struggled with depression. I think it was something on my mother's side that was handed down, a generational thing, you know. Unfortunately, my kids have it a little bit. It's something that could be a chemical imbalance or something. A little medication helps it a great deal, you know. But a lot of times it's just circumstantial, you know. And I think focus has a lot to do with it. If you focus on the negative things in your life, you're definitely going to be depressed. If you can reframe what you're going through and focus on what you're going to instead of what you're going through, it'll make a huge difference, you know. And a lot of times we don't know where we're going to because God has a plan for our lives. And if we knew where we were going to end up, we would be thrilled and be happy, you know, but we don't know for sure. All we can do is walk through the doors that God opens for us. And and the other thing you got to get over is fear, too. It's also not only depression, but there's fear. People can be afraid of success or afraid of failure, you know, and some ridiculously huge doors have just opened up for me.
The new music that you're doing now, reflecting back on the lyrics, now as a Christian performer, people listen to the genre of music that you're putting out there. Are they more focused on the lyrics than the traditional person might be listening to lyrics? Could be, right? I would think.
Oh, yeah, I think so. There's at least one church, like, I handed just a rough CD to a guy who's head of a worship team, and they want to do one of our songs already in church. So we want to make it a little more, you know, tame it down, you know, because they're not into the rock thing. But yeah, I think the lyrics are real important, you know, to that kind of crowd. But my music's always evolving. Like I said, it was heavier. Actually, it was really intended to be have more of a rock edge to it than it ended up being. There's a lot of keyboards on it, and it's really pleasant sounding, you know. And I think it'll reach a wider audience the way it's produced than it would have been if I had produced it, you know.
Is it easier to write the words of the music now than it was before? Because obviously you're a lot more spiritual now. You're probably a lot more knowledgeable about who you are as a being. Now, it could have been very easy to write music before as well. So has the easy approach to writing music gotten easier? Is it about the same, or how do you feel?
Well, it was always easy, pretty much, in the beginning. Well, not in the very beginning, of course, but like in 86, 87, from 86 to 92, I worked with I had a partner, and we wrote 130 songs in 6 years.
Wow.
So that was, we had a good flow going. When I got to Nashville in 2014, because my partner was my pastor in my church, and she had a lot of things on her plate, you know, running a church and everything, and her home life. So we never were able to get together to work on songs. So the only time we got to work on songs was when we were actually on the platform during a church service doing worship. I would make up something, she would sing on it, I would record it, and we'd play it again the next week. You know, and I'd make up something else, you know, and she would sing on that. And eventually, over 3.5 years, we had over 30 songs, and they were pretty good. We picked the best 10. I found a producer, and then went to the studio and did it. And I'm real happy with the results. But my music's always evolving. You know, we decided to go separate ways just personal differences, and we really didn't get along too good ever. So I just met a singer, actually through Phil Taylor, who's my manager, and I'm on this record label, Rock Solid Talent Entertainment in the UK, and he's done so much for me. Anyway, he helped find a singer from Canada, Shimmer Johnson, and her husband, Corey, who is an excellent producer. And anyway, we've already begun work on our next album. And it's going to be more the direction that I'm really looking to go in. It's going to be heavier. It's not going to be played in church, I don't think. You know? But it's going to be really cool. I'm really excited about it.
Cool. Let's play. Tell you what. Let's do back-to-backs now. I know that you sent me 4, so we may go and do a 5th one. But back-to-backs, what should we do? 2nd and 3rd. What do you think?
Left of the Rock and Great Marvelous.
Okay, here we go on the Dave Darren Show.
Won't you come to the cleft of the rock? He wants to meet with you. Won't you come to the cleft of the rock? He wants to meet with you. With his love and kindness, he wants to meet with you. Oh my God, in the midst of the temple, according to thy name, so is thy praise. And to the ends of the earth, thy right hand is full of thy righteousness. Won't you come to the cleft of the rock? He wants to meet with you. Won't you come to the cleft of the rock? He wants to meet with you. With his love and kindness, he wants to meet with you. Oh my God, in the midst of the temple, according to thy name, so is thy praise. And to the ends of the earth, thy right hand is full of thy righteousness. Angels are all around, they're on assignment. Heavenly hosts are here, and the warring for you. Angels are all around, they're on assignment. Heavenly hosts are here, and the warring for you. Oh my God, in the midst of the temple, according to thy name, so is thy praise. And to the ends of the earth, thy right hand is full of thy marvelous are your works, O Lord God Almighty. Just and true are your ways, O King of the saints, whom shall not fear you? Oh Lord, oh Lord, glorify your name. Great and marvelous are your works, O Lord God Almighty. Just and true are your ways, O King of the saints, whom shall not fear you? Oh Lord, and glorify your name. You alone are holy, you alone are worthy to be praised. All nations shall come and worship. You alone are holy, you alone are worthy to be praised. All nations shall come and worship before you. I worship before you. Great and marvelous are your works, O Lord God Almighty. Just and true are your ways, O King of the saints, whom shall not fear
back here with Barry. We're talking about all the music. Today's music, we're talking about some of the things in the past. I am curious about this. You said it was easy to write music, and easy.
Right.
Easy is obviously a perspective. People that work in the streets doing highway construction might say it's easy, and me, a guy that's not built like that muscle man, going there would be extremely difficult. But writing music, for me, has always been hard. Now, when you say it's easier, does that mean that the better pieces of music are the ones that come easier, and the ones that you have to work harder in seem to not be as good as the one? Explain that to me. I don't quite get that one.
Well, I guess I got on a rabbit trail and forgot to finish making my point. In the past, from '86 to '92, I was a Christian, and I would just be by myself at night, in a room with a red light and an atmosphere at a studio. And I would program. I had a workstation. This was a keyboard where you could play drums, bass, and I would make up songs with the drums, the bass, keyboards, and then I'd put a guitar over it, and I'd have complete rhythm tracks that I would hand the singer, and it was fun, But I don't have that now. So over the past 4 years, when I would make songs up, I only had the guitar. And what was happening was I only wrote when I was on the platform during church. And it was effortless. Like, I didn't even try hard at all, The songs just came to me. I'd be up there and I'd hear something and I'd, find it, because it wasn't that hard to find on the guitar, because I've been playing on it for so long. And so I just started doodling until I found it, and I would play it. And the pastor, singer, vocalist, lyricist, would go, what's that? I said, it's something new, apparently, And she would say, I like that, and she'd crack open the Bible and look to wherever, like usually Psalms, I think, is what she would look for inspiration for the lyrics.
Wow.
And she started singing, and she'd come up with great melodies, and she had a great sense of timing, how she would slide into it. It was very unusual. It was really cool.
That is.
It felt really cool to me
Yeah.
when we were there.
I got to tell you, growing up in Philadelphia, I went to Catholic school. I never heard of the word platform. I've heard of the pews, the altar. I know we had the organist up in the choir. What is the platform?
You don't want to call it a stage, whatever you do.
You don't call it a stage.
You're performing, and that's a big no. You don't want to perform because you're worshiping, you know what I mean? Like in a Christian atmosphere, the focus isn't on you, it's supposed to be on the Lord. So, let me give you an example.
So I guess we can say the Lord is on stage and you're on the platform.
Well, you're supposed to be glorifying the Lord.
Right.
And the people aren't supposed to be looking at you for a show. They're supposed to be like, their eyes are closed, they're worshiping the Lord, their eyes up or whatever, hands up. They're supposed to be focused on the Lord, not you. Right? They're not there for a show, they're there to worship the Lord. So I'm not supposed to be like playing guitar, behind my head, or
Right.
with my teeth like this, or spinning it around my body, stuff like that.
So in other words, you could do all that if you were at a Baptist church, right? You could do all that for a Baptist church.
No, but I mean, performing live though, if you go on tour, it depends. That's where, you're right on the line of performance and worship. Some Christian bands are built for performance, like Stryper.
Yeah.
Other Christian acts, more Christian contemporary, are still very worshipful, like Chris Tomlin or Michael W. Smith. When you go to their concerts, it's worship. They're not really. I don't know. I've never really been on Michael W. Smith concert. I imagine some of them are like shows too. But anyway, I think when I get out there, it's definitely going to be showy and worshipful. It's called prophetic worship, which is what prophetic worship is spirit-led worship. So what you're basically doing is just flowing. It's spontaneous, kind of like jamming is what people call it. The Grateful Dead were very well known for that. Like they never played the same song the same way twice. They just would flow, make up stuff as they went. When we get out there and tour, we have a tour coming out in Canada already and the States, and it's going to be on a reality show. I mean, so much is going on. It's happening so quick.
I am curious about this, so everyone can find out about your tour and your schedule by going to your Facebook page. So announce that. Do we spell it DeBenedetta? How do we spell it?
No, well, I have my own. Actually, I have a website now. It's DeBenedetta.com or www. But anyway, Benedetta is BENNEDETTA. Can't get any simpler really than that. Benedetta.com. And any of the Barry DeBenedetta pages on Facebook, they're just regular profiles. And Barry Benedetta has a page on there and a fan club on there. So it should come up even if you misspell it, You'll find it.
Cool. Okay. So do you play other instruments as well? Guitar? I think you said keyboard because you had the keyboard in the studio and all that, right?
I wouldn't want to be on stage with just a keyboard. I can program it. I can write parts, but I'm not like a keyboard player, But I can write drum parts. I'm not a drummer either. Can't play the drums. I can play the bass, but I wouldn't want to really play the bass in the band. But I can write on all instruments. I can write a song in the studio and write the parts, but I can't play all the instruments. I mainly just play guitar, but I can write on all instruments. I guess you could say.
Everyone from New Jersey knows Cinderella's from New Jersey.
No, Tom is from Springfield. He was next town from me. Tom Kiefer.
See, now that's not a good Christian way of pursuing it because they lied about where they're from. I'm just they better go to church and confess that crime.
Right. Eric Brittingham was from Baltimore, Maryland.
Oh, how about that?
Jeff LeBar was from Upper Darby, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
And the drummer, forget his name, Corey, was it? Anyway, he was from California.
Oh, wow. Well, Barry, I'm going to wish you luck with your tour. We're going to look for your tour dates by going to your website.
All right.
And we're going to play some. We're going to play some more of your music. Where's your music found? Is it in iTunes yet? I know that Rock Salad Tunnel Entertainment's working on that. Where's your music presented right now?
I released it went out on everywhere, every digital place you can get it. So it's on iTunes, Spotify, Amazon, Google Play, anything you can think of is on there. And then I released some of the stuff I talked about earlier from starting in '86. All my older stuff, the best of my older stuff, it's called Turn Out the Lights. I released that a month later, August 1st, and that's all out there too on the same thing, iTunes and all that. It's all digital. So if anybody wants to hear that, they can check that out as well.
It was great having you on the show, Barry. We'll close it with a final song. I think which one should we do? I think we still have one more from the selection here, or do we not? We'll do an extra.
All right. Thank you for having me, by the way. Appreciate it. Do The Goodness of God.
Okay, we'll do that. What does this song mean? I haven't asked you specifics about any song. What does this song mean to you?
That, this God is good all the time, even if you don't see it, He's always working on your behalf for your good.
Well, thanks again, Barry, for being on the Dave Darren Show. Thanks to Rock Salad Talent Entertainment and Phil Taylor for introducing me to you. Good luck with the tour. We'll look for your tour dates on Facebook. We'll look for your music on iTunes, and I'll put those links out there for you as well. So thanks very much for being on the show, man.
Thank you so much.
Okay, take care, man. See you later.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Who is like the Lord, who dwelleth on high? The Lord, my strength, my song and salvation. Father, I will praise you, for you have heard my cries. The voice of rejoicing is in your temple. The goodness of God goodness of God endureth forever. This gate of the Lord the righteous shall enter. Who is like the Lord, who dwelleth on high? The Lord my strength, my song and salvation. Father, I will praise you, for you have heard my cries. The voice of rejoicing is in your temple. The goodness of God endureth forever. Open to me, O Lord, the gates of righteousness. The goodness of God endureth forever. This gate of the Lord the righteous shall enter. The right hand of the Father is exalted. The right hand of the Lord is strong and triumphant. The goodness of God